Why, hello, YouTube. Nice to see you guys tonight. Thank you for joining me on the broadcast. This is going to be kind of a shorter show than normal, hopefully, but you know how those things go. I always say that, and it tends not to be. But thank you so much for joining me. Tonight's going to be quite an interesting night. We're going to call out a lot of things and be talking about a lot of sensitive things right out in the open and a no BS show for you guys. So, hope you are locked in tight at least for an hour. Maybe we can sit here and clear up some misconceptions and some things that I saw earlier going around on YouTube that I thought needed to be addressed. And I'm going to do that right here on my show, a little bit unscripted. So we can talk about these particular things and try to clarify some confusion and misconception that's going on. We're going to talk about everything. I just now had a chance to go back on my friend Defango's stream and see his latest post about trolling and some various other topics that I found to be quite interesting. And as you know, my stance on satire and stuff like that, I don't think anybody should be demonized for satire, but I absolutely think people should be held accountable when it crosses the line. So I'm going to say my piece on the show. And again, this is just my opinion. Doesn't mean that any of this stuff is written in stone or the way that it is. It's just my own opinions and viewpoints about these particular topics and to try to inject some logic into these arguments. So that way we can kind of make better sense of what's going on and try to form some better opinions about things, hopefully, in the end. But the real goal of it all is to kind of move past the kind of infantile exchanges that have to occur because of petty drama. And now you know that I'm a person that detests petty drama at all costs. I don't like when people bicker with each other. I don't like when they argue with each other over inconsequential things. In fact, it's one of the main reasons why I created the channel to begin with, was to have kind of a melting pot of all different people from all walks of life who believe a variety of different things, whether they be atheism or Christianity or belief in evolution or belief in intelligent design, and all these conflicting topics that we could come together as one and discuss them right out in the open without any fear about speaking about subjects that are taboo. So that was the original intention of the show. And I think we've been pretty successful in that. We've had a lot of people in this channel that on other channels have been at each other's throats, and we've had some kind of mediary effect in a way, getting people to work together and to talk together. But these things still persist regardless, because outside of the boundaries, sometimes we end up just going right back into our old habits. So I did want to discuss a few things, and I did want to start saying that I'm not any longer going to promote um, that level of trolling. Okay, so I just want to be very clear when I say this is my channel. You know what I mean? And I don't have a lot of followers. This isn't a large channel. This isn't PewDiePie by any shape, form, or fashion. Um, I don't have a large subscriber base, but I do care about my subscribers. So it doesn't matter if I have 300 or 3 million subscribers. I still care about you all the same. I don't view you as just numbers or ticks on the board. You guys are individual people with your own stories, your own personality, your own backgrounds, and everything else like that. So I owe it to you to treat you as an individual, not a number or a subscriber or a fan. I don't call people that either. I think that's an arrogant thing to call somebody that enjoys what you do. You're not a fan. You're basically family to me. So right off the bat, I can go ahead and dispel one thing that I see when my name pops up on different channels. And it's not often that these things happen, because I like to think that, you know, I get along with people 99.99% of the time. I don't really have any beef with anyone. I don't have any long-standing drama with anyone. There's no epic battle between me and someone else, anything like that. I tend to keep myself short, sweet, and to the point. I have my opinions, I state my opinions, and then I'm done. I go right back into the shadows from where I came. I don't stick around and try to run the points into the ground. I don't try to get people to persuade people to take my side on things and to side with me and not with someone else. I tend to let people have their own beliefs, but I also offer my own, and we can have a friendly exchange about things. And we've done that, right? About evolution and physics and space and all that good stuff. We've had a lot of fun conversations on this channel that have lasted way into the AM hours of the morning. And I value that. I have a lot of value for that. I think those things are rare. I think they're more valuable than gold. But I have got my few share of people. They're a very small little clique of people, but they're there nonetheless. And you can never please everyone. You're never going to get everyone to like you. And that's never been a goal of mine to begin with. I understand that some people just don't like you for the way you look, or they don't like you for the way that you talk, or the way that you dress, or a variety of other reasons. People are going to find fault in you if that's what their intention is from the get go, okay? And some people just can't help it. It's something that we're wired biologically to do. We favor certain things and we don't like other things about people. And if you're a realist like I am, you just deal with that. You know, there's no need or desire in my body to please the world. I don't have any desire to make everyone think of the same thing of me. I just state my opinions and let people form their own opinions. Okay. So, in the process of doing that, I've gained a few people who have said that I always come in here and tell you guys that I love you and that I care about you and all that stuff like that. And it sounds very Mr. Rogery to some people. They think that it's kind of like a facade, that I don't really actually feel that way. And there's no possible way that someone can actually feel that they have like a unity with someone else. Well, I'm sorry, that's a load of bullshit. Let's just be honest. Like, I'm not the only person that feels that way. But if you think that's some sort of utopian view of the world, then sorry, you're just actually factually wrong. I mean, I have nothing but love and respect for my fellow human beings. I find love and enjoyment within talking to people about a variety of topics. And I don't find any of that enjoyment in the material world. I just don't. I don't find enjoyment in buying flashy cars or spending my money on expensive clothes or anything like that. I find my enjoyment in life of connecting with people and getting to know where they're coming from. So that's what really gives me my high in life, if you will. So when people come and they say, "Oh, you tend to just talk all the time about how you care about people and that you love, love, love," it sounds a little bit fake, and because people don't like to hear that. It sounds too sappy for them, or that sounds too mushy for them, or whatever else like that. Well, this is what happens when you've been alive for a long time. For some people, you start to realize that the only thing that actually does matter in life is human interaction, that at the end of the day, a lot of differences that we have with each other are just petty. They don't really amount to anything. They're inconsequential. The thing that matters at the end of the day is that we're human beings stuck on a planet. We don't know how we got here, and it's just us. We're alone on an island. And if we're going to treat each other as as poorly as possible and think it's funny, then we're never going to progress as a species. And I don't want to be part of the ball and chain that holds the human species behind any longer, because we've been dealing with this type of nonsense now for millennia, and it's time to put a stop to it. And I can't change the world, but I can change me. I can act different and be a role model for someone else instead of me trying to change the world all on my own back, because I know that's not possible. That's a very utopian way to think about the world. But what I can do is I can use my mind and do right for myself so that way I could treat other people with respect. And that's what I try to do in everything that I do. So when people come on and they say, I know you keep saying all the time you're appreciative. I get it. You're appreciative. Ha ha ha. Like, and they kind of troll me on that type of thing. I don't really take it as offensive. I don't. So what I end up taking it as unfortunate, because I can't believe that other people don't understand that that's a genuine thing with people. They actually believe that's fake. It's so rare these days to actually be genuinely appreciative of things that it's passed off as fake to people. No, seriously, there are people out there who are actually just appreciative to have your company. And if you find that to be offensive or that pisses you off, then that says a lot about your personality, not mine. So that's my little piece about that particular opinion about me, that I'm too caring about people. I can't even imagine what kind of insult that's intended to be when people say that to me. Like, I'm too caring, I'm too nice to people. I mean, if that's some sort of sin, or if that's some sort of bad action on my part, then I'll own that all day long. That's just, yeah, that's just who I am. So I'll keep being nice to people whether you like it or not. So it's my channel. I can do whatever I want, right? Right. All right. Now on to the next thing, okay? Because we need to clear up a few things on this particular stream, and I called it conversation at the grown-up table because honestly, there are only there's not that many people out there that are sitting at the grown-up table, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because the majority of the people that are in these types of YouTube petty dramas and stuff like that are not taking into account really how petty these issues are in real life, how much they actually equivalent in the real world. They just don't, okay? The time that they do, though, is when they're persistent, when they're constant badgering and harassment, constant negative and trolling, okay? So my piece about trolling is I've never been a person that's been against satire at all. If you want to make some jokes about me and say that I look like a wood elf or whatever someone else said about me, obviously I'm not going to get offended by that. Okay. I'm not the SJW type at all. I'm not the snowflake type at all. If you want to joke me mercilessly, that's completely fine. But there is a point, there is a threshold where even the best comedians know not to tread. You know, there is a point where you poke and poke and poke and poke and poke and poke at someone, and you start to become what's under the definition of a sociopath. Okay, we all know what a sociopath is, I'm sure. And part of that sociopathy is basically poking and poking and poking and poking someone and not knowing when to stop. It's almost like they get a high off of just irritating the living shit out of someone. And that point, you're no longer funny. You're no longer George Carlin pushing the envelope. You're no longer Lisa Lampanelli saying some controversial joke. You're just an asshole. There's a point where you cross the line and you become a little bit of a jerk to someone. And at that point, I don't come out and call you a jerk. I just vanish. I just evaporate. You just see me evaporate into thin air because I don't have anything negative to say to you. I don't have any ill will towards you to throw back at you fire because you throw me fire. I don't play that game. I don't do the eye for an eye thing. If you start throwing fire at me, I'll just evaporate. I'll go right through your fingers like water. And that's how I hope most people are in the future. Instead of this fire here, then fire back, then fire back, then fire back, because all that does is create sides, right? You create cliques, you create groups of people. And anyone who's associated with you has to make a choice, right? So if you create a divide between people, then you force your friends to also be in the divide with you. You force them to choose sides because if you decide to be neutral, then you look like a jerk too. So some of these instances put me in a precarious position because I designed this channel specifically to be a non-biased, conformist channel. Like I wanted to be completely unscripted, off the rails, like from what people normally expect. And I wanted to foster an environment where people could talk openly about things, even if they were sensitive and controversial, right? So there was no boundaries to the conversation because we're all grown-ups, right? Like we know how to have a conversation like grown-ass people, right? So that's the intention and that the follow-through with this particular channel. But even that is not what some people want. Even that's not good enough for some people. Some people want to take it a step further. Now, some of the people that have been in my chat room for a long time who play both sides of the fence. Like they come to me and they act like, I appreciate what you're doing. I like the direction of your channel. I think you're a nice person to my face, but then say negative things about me behind my back and criticize everything from my music to the way that I DJ to the way I look and everything else like that, and have these double opinions about me. The funniest part about it is I know who all of them are, all of them, because I'm in a bunch of chat rooms under a bunch of aliases. And so I know exactly who says the things that they say about me. And I have those people pretty much on lock. So I'm going to be deleting and blocking them at the end of this broadcast, and they're going to know who they are then. But just to point it out there, when you have a YouTube channel, right? Like Defengo has his YouTube channel, and someone comes in and they try to be negative and disrespectful to him, Defengo has every right to kick them out. And I've seen people get hurt and upset that people have been blocked from his channel. That's his channel, right? It's his that belongs to him. He gets to make those decisions because he gets to be in a position where he can give the news and opinions and things that he's doing in his life. And if someone's coming along and calling him fat or stupid or anything else like that, he doesn't have to tolerate that. He can choose to tolerate it, right? Like he could choose to be like, nah, it's not a big deal. But if he finds it to be a big deal, he's got the right to kick people out and block them, or demod them or whatever else he chooses to do. That's his channel. It's the same thing with anyone else's channel, including mine. Now, I got some heat recently because I blocked a few choice people that appear in other people's rooms. One of those people is this really happening? And I was very nice and kind to is this really happening since day one, as I am with everyone that I talk to. I was very respectful. I was very kind and very generous with my words to them. But that kindness got mistaken for a bit of weakness. And so I started to get a little bit poked and prodded and a little bit trolled and stuff like that, which honestly doesn't phase me at all. It's very, very hard to get to me. So if that's the type of person you are, I promise you, I'm not the one. So he kind of poked and poked and poked and poked and poked at me. And I said, finally, I was like, look, I don't have time to entertain juvenile nonsense like that. My method of doing things. rather than going back and exchanging insults and saying, no, you're a duty head, no, you're a stupid head, you're a blockhead, blah, 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 like back and forth. The most effective thing to do is to not perpetuate the drama. It's to stifle it right off the bat, because I don't have time for that. I have enough things going on in my life that demand high stress from me, that deserve my stress, right? Like if I'm taking care of people, or if I'm getting my friend through really bad depression, I don't want to add stress onto that. So people that add stress onto my life, like, they're just piling up the hamburger like that, I don't have to entertain that. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that a lot of these trolls have twisted, is that they think that you have to put up with things. Well, I don't. I can just click and flick them off. And that's what I encourage you to do. If someone's sitting there trolling you mercilessly, rather than getting upset and angry and trying to one up them and then trying to alpha them and all these other things like that, just kick them out of existence. Just flick them out like that. Seriously, it's that easy in this digital day and age. Or hit them up and ask them why they're doing it. Obviously, you want to try to make peace first. But if they're just trying to insult you and to get your blood pressure up, why do you need that in your life? Do you know what I mean? Do you really honestly want to take that on? You want to add that to your already stressful life? No. Who would want that? So my response to the people like that is, I don't want you. Like, who the hell would want you here? Flick. And so that's how I avoid a lot of the drama and stress that a lot of other people go through, because I just don't even entertain trolls. I don't even go there with them. I let them talk a bunch of smack. If they want to say some things, and that's totally cool, because I have fun. I laugh at myself, okay? I don't take myself seriously. I laugh at myself. I make jokes about myself all the time because it's fun to do. If All Seeing You came on not too long ago and cracked some jokes about me, and I thought they were hilarious. I didn't take offense to them or anything else like that. But you do have to kind of take a step back sometimes and think about what exactly is going on, right? You start to think about what is being said sometimes, and occasionally you come across a few important little nuggets. And I came across such a few nuggets the other day. So I'm going to share them with you because I thought I wasn't going to do it, but fuck it. So I was on Facebook the other day. Some of you have me added on Facebook, and I don't add just anyone on Facebook. In fact, I'm extremely selective with who I add on Facebook, because I view that as kind of like the last more protected medium that I'm on. I can be a little bit more choosy with who I put on there. It's not like Twitter that I use for music a lot, but Facebook is kind of more of a personal ground for me. So I tend to not just accept every friend request. Sometimes I sit on friend requests for 3 or 4 months before I decide to accept them. And that's only because I like to kind of know the person better, if you will. You know? So I ended up going on Facebook and making a post. And I would show you, but I don't have XSplit set up on this device. But I made a post for those of you who have me added a couple of days ago about prayer. Okay. And I made a post saying that prayer was completely ineffective. And if you want to make a really big difference in the world, do actions. If you know someone who's dying of cancer, go up to them and bring them a glass of water, or sit with them and talk to them and give them some company, or try to make them feel better by singing them a song or something. Do an action that manifests into something tangible that the person can use and appreciate. Don't say, I'll pray for you. That's like the most disingenuous, sloppy, lazy thing to say to someone. I find it actually kind of offensive when someone says, I'm going to pray for you, when someone's dying of an illness. Um, do something. Actions are way more important than intentions. And sometimes people have crazy bad follow through. I could say, I'll pray for you, and then not even pray for you either. So I made a post just stating what's on my mind. Just like some people can make posts saying that I think prayer is the best thing in the world. Shouldn't I have the right to criticize it in opposition? Well, of course I should, because I have the right to do that. I made a Facebook post, and it had more than 50 likes on it. People liked what I had to say. My friends, my regulars liked what I had to say. But we had a nice little guy from our past, J1033, decided to come on and blast me in front of everyone and say that I was some sort of idiot for not believing in the quantum theory of angelic healing. And all I said was, can you please define what quantum means in this instance? Because I think it's not meaning what you think it's meaning. And I got roasted. I got called an idiot, a stupid ass that's not on his level. I'm not as good as him. I'm just stupid and all this other stuff like that. And we went down about 145 comments where I was just trying to get some clarification on what he was saying and a little bit of proof and evidence. And I got caught everything from an idiot to, that I'm stupid, that he wishes I would just hurry up and die and go to hell and burn, um, because I'm an atheist. I mean, that's not really something a Christian would say. And I found it to be an utter, complete waste of my effort and time. I don't even think it was worth the time that I invested in it in the first place, exchanging information back and forth. So I deleted and blocked him. I gave him a chance. I said, look, I don't want to be nasty with you. I don't want to be disrespectful with you. I don't want to exchange all these negative words, but I'm not going to entertain your bullshit. You're on my wall. This is my world you're in. Okay. I make the rules here, not you. So I'm going to block you. Okay. Just like if I was on someone else's wall and I was just talking stuff to them and insulting them and they deleted me, I would expect that. You know, it doesn't take a lot to be nice to people. It's free. It's free. So here's my point with this. So I'm going on today on Discord and several other different mediums, right? And I'm talking to a few people, okay? I talk to people that people don't think I talk to, okay? But some people underestimate me, and that's a real shame because I don't know what it takes to convince them that I'm not some twerpy little kid. But apparently, some people underestimate my intelligence. Okay, fair enough. Well, I know everything that's going on behind the scenes, everything. And I see what's being said. And I saw some really negative things being said about a few friends of mine. Really negative things. And I didn't want to perpetuate drama. So I didn't want to go on the air and talk about petty bickering between people and try to say, like, well, this person said this and this person said this. Because honestly, that stuff is so annoying. Have we had not had enough of that for like Jesus Christ? Like, we've had enough of that, right? Like, the drama stuff is just overkill. So I just made a note of it. I made a few screenshots. I made a note of it, and I said, "Look, this is just not cool. I can't continue to be associates and friends with people that share these types of completely, just stupid views, just really harmful, negative views. I can't continue to support these people. I can't continue to pretend like it doesn't exist and pretend like I'm impartial because I created the channel to begin with to be impartial, but in reality, I'm not 100% impartial. I can't be because I see things that violate my moral code. Okay? Can you understand that? If I see something that challenges my morals, right? Like I'm like, "Whoa, that's just not cool." Then I can't come on here and just say, I don't really agree with it from a moral standpoint, but I'm going to let it slide because this is just the internet. No, some things that are said are actually really shitty. And I'm like, I don't want to really associate with people like that. So when I saw Defango's video, okay, I saw Defango's video about Brother Box and you and all these other things going on earlier, okay? And I scrolled down to the comments and somebody said, I see these people on Genki's channel and they are always welcome there and he treats them with respect. It says a lot about Genki, basically. I mean, it was a way to pass that sort of thing off on me, like I support malicious trolling of people, which already should sound to you like a load of bullshit. But if it doesn't, allow me to go one step further. The fact of the matter is, I don't support malicious trolling of anyone. Period. I don't, especially people that I'm friends with. People that have supported me since day one and have been very kind to me, like Defango, support all the way. I've supported Defango everything I've done. I've never spoken negatively of Defango in my life. I've never said anything negative about him, and I've certainly never done anything to kind of harm his channel. And Defango knows that because Defango and I talk all the time. So he's not really as mindless and whatever as these particular comments were making him out to be. Okay. And I understand that some people don't like Defango because of the spear of destiny and all these other things like that he's got going on. I understand that. I understand people have their opinions about things, but no one's forcing you to watch Defango's channel. How old are you? Are you over the age of 18? Have you had any real world, real life experience? Have you seen other people's opinions? Have you heard other people's opinions before? If you don't like the radio station, just turn the dial. I mean, I don't really see how constructive it is or how it makes you look like an intellectual person to criticize someone incessantly when you don't like them. If you don't like them, just move on, you know? But that's not always the case. Now, and try to roast people. I'm not going to sit in here and try to just lay into people and stuff like that verbally. That's obviously not my style of doing. In fact, I'm a very cut and dry person. I just acknowledge a problem, I deal with it, and move on to the next thing. I don't allow things to affect me personally, and I certainly don't allow myself to get caught up in other people's drama. But my name was mentioned. And I have to sit here and defend myself because I'm not going to let other people mischaracterize me and misrepresent my words. I'm not going to allow that. I own my words. So if I say something, I will own it. If I missaid something, I will apologize in public for it because I own my words and I'm accountable for what I say. So I make sure that I think before I speak. And that's the reason why it takes me a long time to do a show sometimes because I want to get everything together what I want to say rather than just blurt it out, right? Because it's kind of tacky and sloppy. Well, let me be perfectly blunt and honest, like I've always been with you guys. I've never been a sugarcoatery type person. I'm a very realist type of person. I say what's on my mind. I don't believe that rolling between All Seeing You and Defango is cool. I don't. You actually came to me the other day. She called me a moron for referring to myself in the third person during one of my DJ shows at the club I was doing. And I was very disappointed in that. I wasn't offended, I wasn't hurt, I wasn't sad, I wasn't angry or vengeful. I was just disappointed. I was like, "Wow, you that's." I thought she was kidding, right? I was like, "Ha ha ha," ha," and she's basically like, "No, you're a fucking moron." And I was like, "Wow, I've done nothing but be nice to you. I've been very kind to you. I've been very respectful to you. What the fuck?" So later on, well, actually a day later, she came to me on Discord and apologized to me. She's like, "I'm really sorry. Like, I didn't mean to speak to you that way. It was way out of line." And I instantly forgave her just like that. That's the other way I act, by the way. If someone apologizes to me and I think it's sincere, I forgive them instantaneously. I'm not one of these people that holds petty high school grudges with people. I don't demonize people from now until eternity. I only deal with things in the moment, and if people are actually sorry about what they do, I forgive it and move on. That's what I believe to be is the adult thing to do. So today, I read the comments. I'm on Discord and I read the comments, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, are you serious? Now I got to be honest. Like, I don't want to be a channel that supports perpetual negativity. I don't. I'm making this particular stream because I want to just call it out. I just want to take the towel off and let it be exposed to the sunshine. Just call it right. Let it be out in the open. Okay. Let everything just expose itself, you know? Because we're never going to move on until we get past this stuff. We're never going to move on to better things with each other if we're constantly squabbling about dumb shit. Okay. This whole puzzle thing that's been going on for ages, this whole battle between the wiki and all this other stuff like that is irrelevant. Brother Box and I have had this conversation numerous times on both Discord, and to which we both laugh and joke about it and say PGP is just a bunch of, our differences and disagreements in PGP really don't matter. They don't equivalate to anything. I called I called some of their work fraudulent. He's made some jokes about Liber Primus and all this stuff like that. We've gone back and forth about our particular topics. But both of us can talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, the fact of the matter is that I'd have disagreements with him about stuff, but we still have friendly conversation. We still talk to each other in a friendly manner. We're not negative and shitty to each other. He's been very kind to me. He's come on the stream and talked about a variety of topics that have nothing to do with the puzzle or anything else like that. And I'm giving credit where credit's due because it would be dishonest of me to come on here and say that my interactions with him have been all negative and trolling. He hasn't trolled me at all. At all. But the comments that I saw in Discord were kind of disappointing to me. I have to be perfectly honest. And for my name to be added to the bottom of the YouTube thing in the comments as if I had some sort of interaction with that is bullshit. It's bullshit. I had nothing to do with that. In fact, I was unaware of these comments until today. What I hope to come out of it is that the drama between Brother Box and Defango and you and all these other people like that comes to a head and ends. Because in the grand scheme of things, we'd all sit down with each other and drink coffee, and we know that. I've told this to Brother Box. Defango's never been the type of person to be an asshole to someone or be vengeful to them and stuff like that. He just defends himself whenever he's being misrepresented. When his character is being taken out of context, he represents himself. He talks. He defends himself in his own platform, and he has the right to do that. Okay, like anybody has the right to defend themselves. So my point with all this is that in the process of going back and forth and insulting each other, we cross the realm of satire to where it's funny, and then we get into like a little bit of like the come on man, let's just let it drop phase. And that's what I'm calling for, is this sort of unofficial ceasefire of people that are grown-ups. Like, let's call this conversation at the grown-up table for a reason. This is a no BS channel. This channel is designed for us to be able to talk about a bunch of things that would normally offend the average person, and be able to do it in a way where we can grow from it. We can learn, right? We can hear each other out, you know? But Defango's also offered that particular medium. He's also offered a medium where he talks about taboo topics, and he's let people stay in the room that have vastly disagreed with him. You know, he doesn't just boot people because they say that he's fat or something else like that, whatever pejorative they want to use towards him. He lets them stay there. It's sometimes the mods, like myself, who will put someone in timeout. But I don't just go around kicking people or banning people because they have something negative to say about me. You know, if someone in my chat were to tell me, Genki, I think your views about space are stupid, I'm not going to kick and block you for saying that. You are right. You have the right to your opinion. I can handle your opinion. If you were to say something like, I think your music is, ban you because that's your musical taste. Like, I mean, I don't expect you to like everything I like. What kind of idiot would I be for thinking that? I can handle differences in opinions. Okay. It's when that line gets crossed a little bit. It's where you get into the realm where people enjoy the drama, where they enjoy like pissing people off, that you start to question the people and you start to say, like, what exactly is your purpose in doing all this stuff? Is it just to continue the drama? Is it continuing to make it worse? Or are we trying to actually get beyond this to work to something better? When do we let it go? What is the end game? Is there an end game, or is this designed to go on from now into eternity? Well, I'm taking a stand in my own way because this is my channel. As I said before, I'm not going to perpetuate drama on my channel. I'm not going to allow it to fester and continue. If I have to block and kick people to make that happen, then so be it. I mean, there's a million other YouTube channels. It's not like me kicking someone is going to be like the end of their life. But the fact of the matter is I just don't want to be viewed or be the actual cause of drama. But I'm also not going to be the type of person that's forced to choose sides either. And I think that that's an evil if someone asks you to do that. Now, Defango's never asked me to take sides on any subject whatsoever. He's never told me I'm not going to be your friend if you don't pick a side and it has to be my side. Defango just he understands that I'm capable of thinking for myself. I'm not a stupid person. But also I feel kind of an obligation to just say my piece. Honestly, there is a little bit of an imbalance. I don't think it's cool what was said earlier. I just don't. And I'm hoping that the Brother Box you drama stuff like that will pan itself out by people just saying, look, maybe I fucked up. Maybe I went a little bit too far. Maybe we can kind of stifle this stuff and throw it under the rug. But I'm not going to be the person to come on the stream and lay into people like that, come out into the public square for people to jump all over. I don't play that game. But I'm not going to have the things that I feel morally obligated to say stifled. I'm going to say it right out in the open. And I think that shit's not cool. I think the stuff I think the mockery and the joking of people incessantly after a long period of time sucks. I don't want to be associated with people like that. I don't. I don't have to. You know what I mean? That's the thing that you learn as you get older. You don't have to do it. It's your fault if you're immersed in drama, right? It's your fault. You have no one else to blame. So I hope for this little ceasefire thing. I mean, it's just stupid that with the fact that YouTube drama even exists to begin with, and I don't know why it does. You know, I see a bigger picture in people, and I talk about that all the time on my stream. And a few people get a chuckle out of it, like, "Oh yeah, yeah, utopian thoughts of Genki," like, "Oh yeah, the world is going to be rosy and stuff." Come the fuck on, like seriously. I mean, how stupid do you really think I am? You must really underestimate the way that I think, but that's okay. I have a view of peace and prosperity for people and enjoyment and enlightenment for people because I know that people are capable of that. I know they are. And to say that they're not is actually a dishonest position. People, of course, people are capable of being smart. Of course, they're capable of doing great things with their potential. But they squander it and piss it away on stupid, inconsequential shit like YouTube drama. So let's put an end to that. That's what I'm advocating. I haven't even looked at the chat once since I've been doing the stream because I didn't want to get my train of thought interrupted, you know. But I'm gonna look at the chat and see what's being said and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I was on. You know, I guess the idea was to talk some shit about me earlier with this 805 GCK, whatever his name is, about my music sucks and I suck as a DJ and stuff like that. You see, this is what happens when people don't have enough joy in their lives. They have to take stabs at your life and try to take your joy away from you. Well, that's impossible with me. Just putting that out there. So if that's an intention in the future, just know that it's impossible. It's not even possible with me. Um, Leslie says, "Well, I walked away from many in this community because they love to stir up BS and drama." Yeah, true. Let's all stay positive, says Hoosier Smiles. Yep, I agree. Jethro's been really cool and all this stuff. Um, Billy Martin says, "BB, stop with the manipulation. You know exactly what your comments were. We all know. I don't play that shit. Try it on someone else." Brother Box, all I'm saying, man, is like you've been very cool with me. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I'm not the one to come on here and just spout some BS just to play sides and play favorites. Brother Box has been amazingly kind to me, been very nice and generous with his words to me. He's never said anything negative towards me at all. I've never come on here and actually criticized the way that he looks. I've never said anything about the way he talks or his viewpoints on stuff. I've never said anything negative about the guy. In turn, he's never said anything negative about me. I just think that the thing between him and Defango sucks, and I think that they can make good allies if they work together and get over petty drama. That's all I'm trying to say. I just wish the incessant negative comments would stop. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You know, we all have love for each other, but it's being kind of compressed under this layer of distrust, and people are kind of fidgety, you know, uncomfortable. But this is not a way to call people out. This is not a way to like bring individuals out. This is kind of a blanket statement. We just need to get on to bigger things. We need to get on to better potential, you know. I know that sounds like a very vague generalized thing to say and not too specific, but it doesn't need to be, does it? Isn't the idea for us all to get on to our own potentials as individuals and maximize whatever that may be? Sure. What are we going to do? Spend the rest of our lives just bickering with each other? Talking shit to each other, strangers on YouTube, strangers. We know each other on YouTube. We're familiar names with some familiar faces attached to those names. But the general bulk of our characters are complete mysteries to people online, right? Like who we are when the camera turns off or when we're not in a chat room or making a video. There's a whole other dynamic to people that we're not taking into account. Uh, Billy Martin says it's nice that you are trying Genki. Well, I'm making an effort. You know, all I can do is make an effort. I mean, I can't do anything. I can't force people to be any way. I'm not trying to get people to be the way I want them to be. I'm saying that I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, if we all sat around and ate a cheeseburger, I mean, I guess that'd be okay unless you're a vegan. But like honestly, the thing is when you're online, right? When you say things online, when you have a presence online of any kind, whether it's big or small, popular or unknown, what you say, like, don't think that your words are always like safe from people's investigations, right? Like you might try to crack a joke and be like, ah, I bet they ain't gonna see this, so I can get away with that. Nope, not gonna happen because there are very perceptual people out there that like to look at things and like to figure out what's going on so that way we can get past this nonsense. You know what I mean? We really do. We need to get past this stuff. Let's see what the chat is saying because the chat, he can say he's fat, but when it's rude when others, wait, hold on. Cassie says he can say he's fat, but it's rude when others use it as an attack. I mean, like honestly, someone, do you really think Defango's feelings are hurt when someone calls him fat? If somebody called me a skeleton and said I'm too skinny, do you think I'd go home and cry about that? Come on. I mean, it's not a matter of it actually affecting Defango. You know what I mean? He's a big dude. He can take care of himself. He's a big boy. He knows what's going on. He's an adult. You know what I'm saying? He understands like context and meaning behind words. Okay, he's not going to go home and sob into a pillow that someone called him fat. The fact of the matter is, it does put him into perspective, kind of where some of his closest people are coming from. You know, like people that on his channel talk nice to him and are respectful and stuff like that, and then go behind his back and just joke on him mercilessly. And those people think that they're like they think they got that stuff on the down low, you know? But nah, no. There's eyes everywhere. You say things online, you might as well just be screaming it out in public. Just putting that out there. There's no such thing as a private convo on YouTube or anywhere. Let's see what people are saying. Oh my god. I have to read up a little bit. Guys, excuse me 1 second. I have to adjust the audio. One second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. I just had to take care of some things real quick. And I'm trying to look at the chat. Yeah, we can all get past this stuff. Just please, like I said, we're going to try to find peace on this channel. Um, I'm a friend. I've been a longtime friend of Defanga's. I support his channel. I support what he does. Um, the fact of the matter is that I'm not going to be put in a position to decide between friends. I'm not going to be put in a position to have my words misrepresented. I've been very honest with you guys and very upfront of how I felt and what I believe. I've said a lot of sensitive things. I've kind of just spilled things straight out to you and not cared about the consequences because I believe that honesty is more important than dishonesty. Obviously, I can sit here and paint a caricature for you, but that's not really going to do anything as far as what you get out of this channel or don't get out of this channel. So I think those particular things are necessary and important. And I'd be a little bit cautious of people who don't value those things. If you want to know the truth. Um, Brother Box says, Genki, what is your opinion on the Pepe creators suing for copyright? I think that that's a meme and within a meme. I mean, that's weird. I don't know. Um, yeah, it has been peace on this channel, and I'm going to continue to make it that way. I'm going to continue to do that. And by the way, it's not like my channel is the exception to the rule. Defango has been a person that has been dishing out love to people left and right. He's been very accepting of a lot of people that have been on the kind of fringe and the outskirts of other people's channels as well. he says some things that rub people the wrong way sometimes, but that's because like we're all different people. We come from different identities. We're different in the way that we live our lives off camera, right? So when we come on camera for the 1% of the day that we decide to do that, or in my case, like 6% of the day, sometimes, we end up dragging these subtle things of our personalities on camera, and then they end up manifesting into a character that other people see that they don't understand. Then when these things clash back and forth, we try to make sense of them, and we can't because we don't know each other. So there's all this confusion and negativity that spawns from that, and I'm not going to allow that to be manifest on my channel. I'm going to use every power in my ability to deny that and to fight against that, because I think that's really the only thing that's holding humanity apart. And Defango, like I said, is a very he has his own style and his own delivery about the way that he puts out material. But he's always been respectful to me. He's always been respectful to anyone that he can, and he just doesn't tolerate bullshit, you know. And I think that's an admirable quality. You know, it's nice to be lighthearted about things. It's nice to be kind of accepting about things. But there's a point where you have to have some level of self respect, right? Self responsibility. Like when people decide to kind of lay into you and just jab you got to stand up for yourself too. You know, you can't just allow yourself to be a punching bag to the world. That's why 95% of me is soft, you know, or compassionate. And people mistake that as a weakness. But that 5%, that 5% may be less of who I am, but it's much more pronounced when it has the show. Like I don't put up with shit from anybody, like nobody, because I don't have time for that in my life. You know what I mean? We only live like what, an average of 70, 80 years. Do you have time for that in your life? Isn't life short as hell? And you're going to add some YouTube drama, you're going to add some negativity on top of that, like putting extra cheese on a Whopper? No, thank you. You know what I mean? The Whopper's already bad for you. Don't add mac sauce and cheese and all mayonnaise and ranch dressing. Just like eat a Whopper. It's okay, just the way it is, you know? So I just wanted to kind of throw all that out there for you guys. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hope you understand why I'm not the play favorites type of person, although I am being a little bit biased, and that's just natural because I believe, and I'm using just kind of my own morality in this instance to say that I think Defango is very unfairly picked on, and I felt the need to stand up for him. You know, not like I have to; he can stand on his own. But I felt the need to defend him a little bit. You know, I don't think he did anything to deserve the attacks that he's had lately. And he's been trying his hardest to put out good content for people. He's been going on travels. He's been trying to film everything that he's done. He tries to stream his entire life and tries to make valuable content for people. And he sometimes hopes for reward back from it. People thought like, hey, you know, he just wants money for doing absolutely nothing. Well, no, he's making YouTube content, which takes away from his otherwise endeavors that can make him more money. He's hoping for a return on it, but he's not saying that that's the only reason why he does it. That was a misinterpretation. Maybe that was misspoken. But DeFango doesn't just make content solely to get, you know, money back from it. He does enjoy making it. It's just not enjoyable when he's very stressed out about how he's going to eat the next day. You know what I mean? And maybe some of us that enjoy his content might help him out. You know, maybe if we want to see more content, because you know, I made this point earlier. When DeFango slows down on making content, people ask him where he's at, right? Like if he's like not making a video for a whole week, people start freaking out and thinking, "Where's DeFango disappeared?" Do you remember when he did that for a short period of time? Everyone wanted to know where he was at. He's working, you know. He can't just sit here all the time and never do anything and expect to make a living off of that because AdSense and all these other things involved with demonetization end up sucking away from his income. He has to make that money somewhere. So if people want him to stay on YouTube more and do more streaming content like they were used to back in the March and April months of this year, then it's not unreasonable for him to ask for some sort of financial thing for that. It's not unreasonable. It's not like it's necessary, but I understand why he does it. Is what I'm trying to say. Now you know me. I come on here and preach about Patreon, and I never ask for Patreon and stuff like that. Well, that's within a context, okay? I don't like when people have Patreons where they don't actually contribute content. You know what I mean? Like the channels that are basically just filler channels. There's no actual substance or any type of anything that you really gain out of it. And then they pander for Patreon money for it. Defango's gone on and reported real stories. He's had real content. He's had guests on his show like Robert David Steele and other people to come on and talk. So I can understand why. I can understand paying a little bit of money for that. You know what I mean? So I get where he's coming from on that. Uh, it's kind of the exception to the rule. But I really believe, with this channel, the reason why I don't care about Patreon stuff is because this channel originally was intended solely for my music stuff, for me to DJ on and for me to talk to people about and to occasionally pass on some information. But it's tended to start to be more of like philosophy and science and with a little bit of music. And I'm okay with that because I'm going to let the channel go wherever it needs to go. Just ride the wave, right? Let it kind of become its own thing. But I've enjoyed enormous, in my opinion, success. And I don't mean success in the form of hundreds of millions of viewers or tons and tons of page views or money in my pocket. That's not the success I'm talking about. I have real success in the people in my chat. I have success in the friends that I have because I've met people who I otherwise would have never known and who are good people who give me a chance, and in return, I get to learn more about them. So that's a success to me. I feel very successful even with only 27 viewers compared to Nathan's hundreds of viewers. Now, lastly, what I want to say on this stream, because I want to keep this kind of concise instead of off the rails like it normally is, the reason why I call this conversation at the grown up table is I encourage you to go through your life and take an inventory of the things that you entertain, things that are unnecessary that you put up with, okay? Now, the reason why, and I'm going to be very blunt about this as well, and I kind of don't even need to disclaim that any longer, but I'm going to be a little bit blunt with you. The reason why I stopped going in LTV's room, you don't see me in Nathan's chat anymore, is because after that day where I got unmodded and everybody ganged up on me and talked a bunch of shit about me, I just decided that was a very unhealthy environment for me to be in. It was unproductive. I was being demonized and talked about like I was some sort of dirty faggot, which is exactly what I was called by one person. I was talked about as if I was, yeah, go, go eat another dick. I've heard all these like homophobic slurs and stuff sent my way, and I've done absolutely nothing but say kind and positive things, even about Nathan, might I add. I've done nothing but even say like, you know what? I think your views are wacky as shit. I think your conspiracy theories are so far off the rails, you might as well be off road. I like your views are outrageous to me, but I enjoy your viewpoint. Like I'll come still check out what you have to say, even if I don't agree with it. You know, because not everyone's going to see the world the way I do, right? I know I don't live on a fucking island. I can handle people's opinions, right? But people couldn't handle mine in that chat. I'd come out and say, like, by the way, guys, not everything NASA says is a fucking lie, right? We have been to the moon. I hate to break it to you, but there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of scientific data to prove that we've been to the moon. But people are like, yeah, you're just stupid. Well, I didn't call you stupid. I just disagreed with you, right? I disagreed with the fact that you don't think we've been to the moon. But I also offer evidence and factual data, right? I offer you things that you can investigate on your own. And you just offer me a bunch of like assertions. So that's where the dialogue kind of stops between me and those people. But I value evidence, right? Like you're going to ask me to believe that the moon landing was fake. Okay, well then give me some evidence to prove that, right? That's a positive assertion. So you owe me positive evidence. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, right? So where's your proof that we didn't land on the moon? And then I get a bunch of videos about the flag not waving, which has been debunked a billion times, and the fact that the Van Allen belt, which is no consequence at all, which has nothing to do with going to the moon because it was no obstacle whatsoever. We had the technology to do it then, we do now. People say that the plans to go to the moon have been lost. They haven't. That's a load of bullshit. Um, and then the Earth was flat. I went back with the flat earthers for days and weeks about scientific explanations of why the Earth is round. Guys, I know it sucks to believe this, but there's way more data to state that the Earth is round than it is flat. Way more data. And it's easy to get. But people were so put off by my view because in that room I was a minority for thinking these things, right? That they didn't feel it was just okay to just disagree with me. They had to call me an idiot. and that I was stupid and uneducated when I'm actually highly educated in science, and then tell me that I was some sort of moron because I can't just take their word at face value. Now that wasn't everyone in the chat. There was very nice people in there, you know. Shoni was a really good person to me. There's a lot of people in that room that were very kind and respectful to me. It was only a few shitheads that made it not worth me going in there. And in the end, I got demodded because some hysterical girl that was obviously drunk and on whatever she was on called into the show in public and slandered me on air on Nathan's recorded show, saying that I was an idiot and a moron that was insensitive to her rape at Burning Man. When the reason why that perpetuated, by the way, to let you know, for those of you who ever wondered that, a billion times, okay? And I disagreed with the fact that the purpose behind the event was a satanic ritual, okay? Um, and this person said it is a satanic ritual. These people that run it are rapists and whatever else like that. And I was like, look, I'm not going to claim to know whether they are or they aren't. I just know that I didn't experience any negative vibes from the people that ran the event. And I'm a DJ, right? So I've been around. It's not like it's my first time around the block. I've been to a billion outdoor raves in my life. Okay, I've been DJing now for 20 years in the professional world, not just like, as a goofball behind the scenes. I've been doing it in clubs for 20 years. So I understand that some of these people are misunderstood, right? And I didn't want them misrepresented. So I just said my piece. I was like, guys, this is not a rape fest for Satanists. Come the fuck on. I understand they're burning a fire in the middle of a pit and everyone's circling around the fire and that looks like some sort of satanic ritual, but not real. And that's my viewpoint, okay? Like I think Satan is a fabrication of man, just like I think all religion is. And that's an unpopular view with people. They hate me right off the bat for saying that. And I got shitted on, really disrespected and said had some negative things said to me. So I realized if you're going to be in an environment where you want to state your piece and you want to have a constructive conversation with people, it has to be with some people who are some grown-ups. It has to be people who act like they're adults, you know? I just wasn't getting that vibe. So I left. And I thought an apology was going to come my way, right? I thought because at the time Nathan just basically believed the girl, like right off. Didn't ask her like, "Hey, I'm going to check this chat out. I'll check it out and see if what's going on." You know, I don't want to demod because she was saying, I think you should just demod him. I think you should just kick him out of your chat." And I thought she was going to get laughed at, but instead Nathan's like, "Oh, really? Well, Genki doesn't really kick many people out. He doesn't really do much modding in the chat. So, I don't really see a problem in demodding him." And I'm sitting there like, "What? Like you believe her? All she did is just make like just she just made some assertion about me off no evidence or anything else like that, simply because she thinks that I'm a devil worshiper because I'm an atheist or because I told her that she sounded uneducated about the rave scene. That's the statement that pissed her off the most. I was like, you don't sound like you know shit about shit when it comes to the rave scene, because she was claiming all this stuff like she's worked at Burning Man for the past 10 years and that she's some sort of expert on the rave scene. It's like, so where have you worked outside of Burning Man before? Anywhere? Have you ever worked a rave outside of Burning Man? No. Well, then why are you speaking about the whole rave scene as if you're some sort of expert? You're just not. You haven't lived that lifestyle, you know? And misrepresenting them as Satanists and drug users and pillheads and all this other stuff like that. I'm not a pillhead at all. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I don't do shit. I literally do absolutely no substances whatsoever at all. I'm clean as a whistle, nothing. If I can do that, and I've been in the game for 20 years, don't you think other people are like that too? Stop misrepresenting the rave scene as if it's some giant fest of druggies, because not everyone is a drug head. There's druggies in the jazz scene, right? Druggies in the heavy metal scene and in the hip hop scene and all these other music scenes. It's not just the rave scene. Okay, quit acting like that. I mean, the punk scene has been having coke in it for however long, right? You go to a metal show and people are like doing eight balls off the toilet. You go over to like a hip hop show, there's drugs there. Go to like a jazz festival, there's drugs there. Come on. It's just an ignorant stance. So I decided to remove myself rather than saying all the stuff I just said to you. I just removed myself. I was like, you know what? If you're going to believe this girl, I'm out. Don't have time for this. Unsubscribe, delete, block, just like that. That's really the method to go by. Me sitting there and having an exchange with that girl in public is not going to get anywhere. I don't know her from a hole in the wall. I'm not going to sit there and say negative things about her because I don't know her. I don't. I'm not going to pull things out of thin air to try to be offensive. That's some kitty shit, right? That's kitty shit. Pulling things out of thin air to insult people is about the weakest position ever. That shows ultimate weakness. I view that as some beta level bullshit. It really is. You know? Like, seriously. And even the things that aren't, even the things that are true, like if someone's heavy set or they're skinny or whatever else like that, like this isn't the lunch table in fifth grade, man. Seriously. Like, I view people like that as intellectually weak people. That is a sign of unbelievable weakness. It's like your muscle basically doing this. You know what I mean? It's obvious weakness. You know what strong people do? Strong people aren't loud. They're not obnoxious. They're not like center of attention standing on the table beating their chest and saying, "You guys are just a bunch of bitches." Like that. That's not what a powerful person does. A powerful person is quiet, calm, and focused and doesn't allow their mind to go all over the place and get lost in their own emotions. They're in control of their emotions. If you see somebody who's highly in control of their emotions, that's a strong mofo. That's a strong person. Don't ever mistake quiet people or kind people for weak people because it's just a mistake that will bite you in the ass later. I promise you. Promise you. Let me see. I haven't really. I should go back to the chat. Um, Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see. I have to scroll up because I saw some orange rectangles, which means my name was mentioned. So I got to scroll up, guys. I'm sorry. I really should have been looking at the chat more than I did. Hey, what's up, Doshi and Odyssey and Corey and all like everybody here? Peaceful Journey, everybody. Like seriously, we have a good team here. We have a good family here. And so I think we're doing a good job. I think we just need to keep it up. And I think we need to go. Those of us who have negative shit to say about Defango should squash it with him. Just go like, hey, look, I have some stuff I want to talk to you about. This shit that bothers me. Talk right to him. He's not inaccessible. Like, quit perpetuating drama like a little kid. If you don't like me or something I say, just come to me. You know, like if you don't, if you like disagree with something I say, if you think atheists are just a bunch of idiots that don't know their ass from their elbow, come talk to me. Seriously. Because I guarantee you, we might still disagree about stuff, but we won't be at each other's throats by the time you're done talking to me. Because I just don't play that stuff. I'm not on that level where I'm going to sit there and be negative to you. Um, no, Scott. No, you're fine, Scott. Peaceful journey. Yeah, we all need to have some peaceful journeys for real, don't we? Yeah, there's a point. Um, it's there's a point where you can only hope for the best. Sometimes people just are going to be negative to each other. It's a realist position, Some people are just going to not like each other, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't try to come in the middle of them and say, "Guys, cease fire." Like you can't do that stuff. Some people, it's a utopian view, as I said before. It's kind of a pipe dream to think that way, but all you can do is try, right? That's all you can do. Orange Blossom says, "Yeah, I do like you a lot, Brother Box. I think you're intelligent and interesting. I just don't like trolling. It's kind of got a bit out of hand." I think Brother Box knows that. I don't really think I think, like I said, I think if Brother Box and Defango showed up in real life in front of each other, they'd be drinking at Java Juice, whatever else. Like they'd be getting a smoothie at tropical smoothie and all 600 calories that's in that thing, sugar or Starbucks, right? See that product placement? If you're wondering what kind of coffee I'm drinking, it's not a pumpkin spice latte. I'm not that hipster, although you might think I am. This is actually black coffee. This is actual just dark roast coffee with one shot of espresso in it. That's what I drink all the time. Completely black coffee. Yep. None of that sugar concoction crap for me. Although pumpkin spice does taste good, I have to admit that. Peaceful Journey says you're a hipster. I guess that makes me a hipster for going to Starbucks. I don't own a MacBook Pro any longer. I did sell all my Mac products, so not technically a hipster. And I don't like a lot of acoustic music, you know. I don't like Arcade Fire. Well, that's kind of emo, isn't it? Doc Rock says Brother Box was fishing for buttons to push on DJ Genki. Found out he doesn't have any. I have no buttons to push. I'm literally like water. If someone comes up to me and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna piss off Genki," like, haha, I'm gonna get under his skin. They get really frustrated really quick because I just basically slip through their fingers like water. I've been through enough stuff in my life, enough negativity in my life that I no one can hope to hit me on that spot. You know what I mean? Just it's literally a futile exercise. But that's a good thing. You know, you build that up over time. Brother Box says no, Genki is all right. Really, he's an idiot about PGP. But I've been like him before as well, and he's going to do his own research. Yeah, I mean, see, like he's not. We're not negative towards each other. I'm I'm an idiot about PGP, and he's an idiot about Cicada. But it is what it is. Truce, right? We're even. Um, Brother Box says seems mischievous to me. That's because of his voice. You know, he's got that powerful German voice. It's like Rammstein. That's what everyone thinks when they think about Germany is Rammstein, right? Let's see. In fact, um, once again, the fact that you seem to be the need to continue commenting that shows that you're bothered by it. I said, try some self. I think he's trying some self reflection. I think Brother Box is. I mean, if he's saying that he's not, that he's like not remorseful for his words, I mean that kind of sucks, you know. But I'm not like a I'm not like a kindergarten teacher. I'm just saying I don't support that stuff. I don't want to support that on my channel. You know what I mean? Um, Defango is a really good friend of mine. I don't want to sit here and roast Defango. I would never do that anyways, but I'm not gonna like allow other people to do it on my channel. You know. Uh, Chatty says, Genki, I think you've been honest since I started watching. You also are nice if you disagree. Thank you for inspiring my mind to see other viewpoints. Well, thank you for joining the channel. Honestly, I mean, we all have different viewpoints. I mean, if I acted like I had the ability to sway someone into my way of thinking, I'd be delusional. Like I have no business being on camera, in my opinion, if that's what I thought. Because that's a worthless exercise, you know, to kind of drag people into your viewpoint, kicking and screaming. Like that's not how it works, you know. You can't kick someone in the balls and then try to hug them and be like, like that. Like, whoa, you just kicked me in the balls, man. Right? Jethro says the question is this all going to stop or are people going to get on? What do you mean by that, Jethro? Are they going to progress to the next level? That's on them. That's up to them. Did you watch the YouTube cut I emailed yet? Yeah, yeah, the song. I watched that. That was amazing. That was called the All Seeing. That was like the name of the band, right? That was a pretty cool clip. I actually enjoyed that. Thank you, Doc, for that. Peaceful Journey says, I just want to send you hugs and for everyone else to going through strange times these days. Yeah, right back at you, Peaceful Journey. You've been an awesome person and a good addition to this channel. So thank you for coming on here and giving everyone a peaceful journey to go on. Like seriously. I know you disagree with me about some things and we had talks where we got into about religion and other stuff like that, but this talks that friends should have, not enemies, right? Seriously. This is Jethro says, I don't really care because people who suggest that they killed a Fango is not cool. Yeah, that's not a cool statement, Brother Box. He knows that. Like, don't say you're going to, like, suggest we. I don't think that Brother Box actually meant that, but that's still like a whoa. When you hear that, it's like, whoa. Brother Box is also, for the record, reflecting my experience with it, but I did not instigate her to make it. And if you ask her, she'll tell you similarly. Like, I basically woke up, okay? Like, DeFango and I talk semi regularly, okay? And I didn't know anything about any kind of detachment with you and DeFango and stuff like that. I didn't know anything about that. I had to wake up to it and kind of find out on my own, you know? I don't keep up with YouTube gossip and drama. It's like keeping up with TV guides, celebrity gossip. Like, what does it amount to? But my name was mentioned and I got brought into it like I was trying to push something in one direction or another. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. When did I come into this? Oh, what did I do? What did I do? And people were like, yeah, Genki's like, don't all these people pop up on Genki's channel? He supports trolls. He supports Keck King and Brotherbox and all these other people like that. He brings them on his channel and lets them get away with stuff. I don't let anyone get away with anything. When Keck King gets out of line, I take away his wrench. Or Brotherbox were to say, like, I know I actually hate Defango and I want to push him off a cliff. I'd I'm sorry, Brotherbox, but I have to regulate on that ass. I just don't want to foster that stuff. I don't want to just make this a place where we could just like shit on each other like that. You know? I can't control what grown people do on their own time. If you want to go somewhere else on YouTube and talk shit about people, that's on you. Just don't involve me in it. Genki, please regulate on my ass, daddy. I have the most. Nah, my knees are on point though, brother. Just throwing that out there. No way, you act responsible. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Scott says recently a high-level Satanist from Colombia has subscribed to my channel and has also subscribed to DJ's channel. The thing I don't know any high-level Satanist that I would even acknowledge for that. I'd be like, you believe in Satan? Well, sorry that somebody tricked you into a fucking delusion. People have called me a Satanist before. I got called a Satanist how many times? Like, oh, he's an Illuminati Satanist. I'm still fighting off all the Illuminati researchers that think that I'm actually part of the Illuminati. I'm like, guys, okay, first of all, as far as the Satanist thing, I don't believe in Satan. Have you not gotten that by me saying that I'm an atheist? I don't believe in any supernatural deities whatsoever. That would include Satan, right? Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. I don't worship Satan. I don't glorify Satan. I don't participate in satanic imagery because I think it's a bunch of bullshit. That's my statement on that. Mark, just record that. Besides, the Bavarian Illuminati did not start off as what people consider George Soros and all these other people to be. Wasn't it originally for a bunch of people to get together and talk about controversial topics away from the eyes of the church? Wasn't that its original inception? Was that they wanted to talk about scientific principles and philosophical endeavors that they didn't want the Catholic Church to know about because they used to kill people? Remember that? That was only a couple hundred years ago. Not too long ago, we were persecuting and killing atheists. Lionhead says, you're wrong. Jesus Christ is alive and well and King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Well, he can be your Lord and your Christ, but to me, he's a fictional character that I don't care to acknowledge. He is the carpenter son of a vindictive, genocidal maniac, and I don't want to worship him in any way at all in my life. But thank you. No, thank you. Brotherbox says, wow, Genki, is there aspartame in your drink? Well, if they put aspartame in black coffee, we're all in trouble. So we're all going to die. But there is espresso in there, and that's why I'm okay. Scott says he wants to act like he's just a wonderful guy who cares about everything and everything universal love and unconditional love, but then he acts. Are you talking about the Satanist guy? Oh, you're saying Defango treats people badly? No, I think if you and Defango had quarrels in the past, just go talk to him. A voice told me to come here. Well, hello, Freddie Beans. Thank you for following the voice. Um, Unfortunately, I think Defanga wasn't available to come in the chat, but he's going to see this video. I'm going to tell him that I uploaded it so he can check it out for himself. And so I'm not trying to speak too much on his behalf. I don't like to speak with in other people's character, but I am speaking in defense. DJ, what made you think there is no Jesus Christ or Satan? Because an incredible lack of evidence or lack of manifestation where he's needed. like dying, starving children, people with Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, cancer, and people who have lost legs and arms in accidents. That alone makes me not only believe he doesn't exist, but think if he did, he should be held accountable for the morally reprehensible actions that he's done in his existence, which has since been the Big Bang, or before the Big Bang, I should say. He should be held accountable for everything he's done since then that has no purpose. Billy Martin says, "I think you and the purple one need couples counseling." That's funny. That's funny. Genki's haircut is evidence that the existence of God. Well, my haircut is designed to, uh, I don't know. It's designed to keep one of my eyes away from the sun. I guess I don't know. What is the purpose of my haircut? I don't know. Everything has a purpose. Nothing is random. So my haircut must be for a reason. I guess just to piss off Brother Box. Isn't that a good enough reason? Should I have a different haircut, Brother Box? Am I in North Korea? I know you like to praise North Korea. Should I have one of the cuts that Kim Jong Un allows? Proved haircuts in order to be fit for the communist regime. Chatty Catty, you're funny. Doc says, "Oh, this chat scrolling. Come on, guys. I'm not a speed reader." Purple one says, "Genki, I think I will swallow every." I can't read Purple's comments out loud. No. Brother Box says, "First of all, North Korea, best Korea. Second, I was just memeing." Oh, okay. Well, we never know, you know. I take everything literally, like some people take the Bible. I don't know. Your hair looks just fine, says Lionhead. Well, thank you, Lionhead. Thank you, thank you. You have a cool name, by the way. All right. I'm reading, reading, reading. Genki, have you ever felt gripped by one of the seven deadly sins, envy, lust? Yeah, because those are normal human biological reactions. To be perfectly honest, I don't attribute those to sin. I don't believe sin is real. I think that everyone has been succumbed to their biological tendencies as a Homo sapien to be attracted sexually to people or to occasionally say things that are dishonest because human beings during the course of their life never are 100% honest about things. People um, take the easy way out of tests. Like if they're taking a test in school, some people have the urge to cheat on the test, or they have an urge to steal a candy bar or something else like that. I don't attribute that to sin. I don't think that's some sort of spiritual thing. I think that's just human physiology and biology. I think that's just a product of evolution. We've been doing that since the caveman days. We used to have 3 or 4 wives, by the way. If we were talking about caveman and Homo erectus and these other uh, old versions of human beings, we used to be polyamorous. We used to have, you know, back in the Greek days, it wasn't necessarily so bad to be homosexual. So, I mean, we can argue that there's really been no objective standard of human existence. There's only been a subjective version of human experience and morality that changes depending on where you're born. So, if you're born in India, there's a high probability that you may be a Hindu, right? If you're born in um, the Middle East, it could be that you're Muslim. I'm not saying that's what you have to be. I'm just saying that where you live, your geographical location has a lot to do with what you believe in. Scott says you missed the point. That person is subscribed to your channel. Well, I can't dictate who's allowed to be subscribed to my channel. I don't know him. I don't interact with him, but I can't I can't unsubscribe him. I don't think, can I? But I don't know him. Just because he identifies as a Satanist doesn't mean he's doing evil in the world. You know that, right? Like if someone says I'm a Satanist, I'm like, okay, well, have you ever done anything like actually evil towards another person? No, I just worship Satan in my living room. Well, so what? Honestly, I mean, I don't believe that Satan exists, right? So if you're doing evil, then I'm going to hold you accountable for it. But if you don't do any evil and you decide to believe in Satan, that's your own business. What am I going to do? Tell you not to? I can't tell you to think things in your head that I want you to think. You know what I mean? I can't say this isn't 1984 where I'm going to convict you of thought crime and fine and imprison you because you believe something I think is controversial. I think that's just an ignorant state. I mean, it's an ignorant stance to take. But I understand what you're saying, Scott. I'm not calling your I'm not calling what you said ignorant. I'm just responding to what you're saying. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, be nice, purple one. Be nice to Scott Bibler. Scott Bibblers comes on here trying to display some love. You don't be mean to Scotty. If I can call you Scotty, Scott Bibbs. One moment, guys. I was gonna try a different pair of headphones, guys, but they weren't working out. So we're back to the old headphones. Hopefully, I don't sound like I'm still in a tin can, but if I do, then it is what it is. You can thank Logitech for that, not me. I was gonna use my studio mic, right? But then I just feel like everyone that has one of those studio mics in the foreground of their broadcast, it just looks like some sort of like fake news station. Like I'm trying to be Larry King. I'm not really going for the Larry King vibe. I think the vibe we have right now is fine. I'm gonna keep that. Um, yeah, but I always say on the streams all the time that I don't believe in God, and I see what you're saying in the chat. Um, and I think that the more I say it, the more it gets annoying to some people. Like they start being like, "Oh, I get it. You don't believe in God." But I really do get asked things on a constant basis, and sometimes attacked by people who are religious. So I'm just clarifying things. It's not like I like coming on here and just constantly trying to debunk religion. But if people ask me to and they care about my opinion, then I'll state it. If they don't, then I won't. So we're just having fun, right? Scott says, "Yes, I understand you don't believe in God and you don't believe in Satan. I just wanted you to be aware. I love you and I love the beautiful people who come here and listen to your words. Thank you, Scott. We all love you too. You're fine. You know, you know, everybody's good. Everybody's fine. We're all having fun and it's a good time. Right now my husky is he's being a husky. He's tearing apart my socks. Bad husky. Bad husky. So if you have a husky, just know that they're very deviant creatures if you want one, you know. I wanted one that had blue eyes and had that nice wolf kind of fur to him. So my dog is like exactly what I wanted, but he's an asshole sometimes. Like they can be very mischievous creatures, but I love them. So just a word to the wise: if you have a husky, they are devious. They like to mess with you. Purple says, um, Brother Box says, to be honest, I'm here to upset people. Genki, you're stupid and your show is bad and way too long. Those are all fair criticisms. What am I going to say to that, Brother Box? What am I supposed to be like? No, my show isn't stupid. Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's what your opinion is, Brother Box, but we can, since you're here to upset people, we can discuss the PGP thing now if you want. I'm perfectly willing to put you on voice and to like finish that conversation once and for all. You know, I can have that conversation with you, right? I've just been stringing you along. You know, we can have that conversation, or we can talk about a lot of other things, but perhaps we shouldn't. You could, you could go, and whose fault is that, my dude? We could talk about the parallax denigrate too, but what good would that do? Please, can we see your dog? Sure. Let me attempt for this to happen. So 1 second. 1 second. No such luck, my friends, because my husky is being a husky. You know how they are? They're camera shy. But Victor will make an appearance on a future broadcast. You mark my words on that. We should do a whole show on Victor. Just have him sit in front of the camera and look at you. You know how huskies give you that derpy look? They're like, just have him sit there like that, on camera and just slobber out of the side of his mouth. It can happen, guys. I can make it happen. If that's what you want to see, I'm here to entertain you. Just make sure you donate to my Patreon. I need a. I'm looking to get about $6,000 this month. So if you can, hit me up. $6,000 would be nice. Don't you think? That'd be nice. I'd be like, whoa, 6 grand in my Patreon? Oh man. You know what I'd do with that 6 grand though? I'd buy a $5,000 camera. I would. I swear to God, I'd go right out to Best Buy and I'd get the Sony A7R2, I guess is what it's called. And I'd get a nice ring light and I would just my video quality would be ridiculous. I would. I'd put every dime back into the stream. I would. I'd feel obligated to do that. You like the Victor show? What he would like that because he's an attention whore. Like he would love that. You know, to film my dog. I have a cat. Yes, my cat's name is Merlin. He's my little magic assistant cat. He sits like up here and stuff, and he sits in this room with me. When I'm doing when what's his name said. I'm always in my room, like doing alchemy and stuff like that, and creating potions for the Illuminati. That's why his name is Merlin. Come on. Yeah. No, his name is Merlin. He's a cool cat. He's very human acting. Very, very human, like in the way he acts. Um, he watches me when I work. He just sits there and stares at me. He like will come up to me when I'm sad and just put his head on me, and just watch me. And then when I ignore him, like if I'm on my phone and I'm looking at my phone like this, he'll come up and try to like this with the phone. Like he hates when I'm on my cell phone. Hates it. So if I'm on my phone and I look at him, he'll stop and stare at me. Then I go back to look at my phone and he'll just put his face right in my phone like that. Yep. I don't know why he does that. Merlin. Yep. And he actually comes when I call him too. If I'm like Merlin, like he'll actually come like a dog. Just the Bear says hee, but you put the cat and dog on the cat tree? My dog is too fat for a cat tree. My dog will crush a cat tree. So the answer to that is nay. Cats are pretentious. Come on, I'm a cat person now. Cats are not pretentious. Just because the Egyptians used to worship them as gods doesn't mean they're pretentious. Okay? They are gods. They're not pretentious, they're just accepting their rightful place. Right? Dogs can be pretentious too. Little prissy dogs. You see those dogs like those? Oh my god, those little pocketbook dogs really piss me off. I can never own one of those things. No, I'm just playing. They don't piss me off, but I can't like a toy poodle or these little tiny little miniature dogs. I'm like, what has the wolf been devolved into? That used to be a wolf, right? You know that like a mighty majestic wolf that the ones on the t-shirts, the three howling wolf shirts that they sell, at the stores. You know, they've been degraded into this little tiny like little pocket miniature knickknack that we like to call a poodle. Come on, come on. You saw magic on. Where did you see magic at? Magic's all around you, right? Nothing is random, right? Nothing's random. Chatty says he's trying to tell you he wants attention and claiming your phone is his own. Yep, that's what cats do. Nobody hates on cats. Better watch out. That's right. Scott knows the deal. Doshi Cat's awesome. He's a cat. Why is everyone? I'm sorry, Doshi. You have to hear all this abuse in this channel. We all love cats. Now I'm calling this a discussion at the grown-up table, and this is what we talk about. Cats. Cats are part of that conversation. We need to understand that cats are amazing. Everyone needs to have a cat in their life. Seriously, and a dog, but a cat. So now that we've said our piece about all this stuff, hopefully you guys know my position a little bit more, and I'm a little bit more clear on what I was trying to say because I hate when my words are misrepresented. I don't like when they're taken out of context. I like for what I say to be coming out of my mouth so that way I can own my words and be held accountable for what I say, not what someone misinterprets that I say. I like my viewpoints to be very clear and concise. And yes, I do take down a lot of these videos after I'm done with them.